Welcome to the New Inventors Night of Nights. Tonight, from 120 inventions, we'll see the top 5 all vying for the prize, Invention of the Year.
I'd be looking for an invention which would save work and effort.
Useful, could be useful.
Marketability.
Inspiration.
A lot of hard work.
I think it would be a really hard job being a judge.
We're ready to arm wrestle to get the winner that I want.
I'm James O'Loughlin and welcome to the New Inventors Grand Final. We have had 120 new original Australian inventions on the show this year, and without exception the people who created them are truly remarkable. They really are. There are so many obstacles in their way, and yet with determination and hard work and a lot of financial guts, they often mortgage their house, they bring their idea to life. They all deserve celebration, and that's what tonight's about. Now, our third finalist may well be the world's first and only practical constant velocity joint to have no load-bearing sliding surfaces. Now, you probably have no idea what that means, but it's a big deal, I promise you. People have been struggling with this problem for literally hundreds of years, and Glenn Thompson has invented something brilliant.
I am Glenn Thompson in Orange, and I am the inventor of the Thompson coupling. I grew up in a very old house with no electricity, and I had to invent my own toys. We didn't have radio or television, so my heroes became inventors.
Dad achieved something that engineers have been searching for hundreds of years.
My joint, the Thompson coupling, is of course the world's first and only true constant velocity joint with no load-bearing sliding surfaces. Initially, I was working on what started out to be a pure rotary motor, which became a pure rotary pump, and it had vibration problems, and so I then thought about a constant velocity variation of it. It finally came to me about 20 years later. While flying, I visualised a particular set of great circle arcs, and it suddenly all fitted together with all the work that I've been doing over the previous 20 years. I was really quite amazed and couldn't believe it. It generated a lot of excitement in Orange.
He had literally children turn up with their piggy banks to invest their belief in him.
I'm just a very ordinary person who grew up in a very ordinary place and find myself in an extraordinary position.
Please welcome from Orange, Glenn Thompson. G'day, Glenn.
How are you?
Now, we'll explain the Thompson coupling in a moment, but am I right in saying some of those kids that invested 5 cents with you are now looking at $2?
They certainly are.
That's quite a return.
It is.
I wish you'd asked me. OK, we're into the world of couplings. They've all got different names. I'm going to call them all couplings so I don't confuse myself. That's a coupling in there, right?
Yes, it is.
And what it does is translate force from this to make the wheel go round.
Yes, and through the ankle.
In a straight line, all very happy. When you're turning a corner, as we'll see...
High resistance.
And this is the problem that you have... and that can be not translating 100% of the force. It wears more, it requires more power, it gets hot, all those sorts of things.
A lot of friction, heat losses, energy losses.
Yep. Strongest man in the world can pick up a truck. Couplings there. The red things are more couplings, and so they're everywhere, aren't they, in the world of vehicles?
In industry, generally vehicles, yes.
Yep. Now, this is where we bring home the bacon. This is a normal coupling when you're driving straight, right?
Yes, yeah, like on the front-wheel drives.
Yep. When you turn a corner... Hard. Oh, Glenn, it's so hard. What a terrible coupling. Can't we make a better one? Now, show it's yours. Firstly, straight.
Firstly, straight.
Oh, it doesn't look pretty. Can hypnotise birds, this. OK, now, chuck a high... Look at that! Just as there's no friction there, Glenn.
No.
Is there?
It's all gone.
Oh, I could look at that for hours, but it's only a 1 hour show. Come across to the panel. This is kind of revolutionary. It's an amazing thing. Sally?
Yeah, Glenn, this is mind-blowing. Your
Mind-blowing.
invention, I guess the one thing when I look at it is it looks weighty. And I know that, say, in the vehicle industry, there's always this insistence that you need to reduce overall body weight. So I just wonder, looking at the way it has no load bearing, it seems to me you could be looking at aluminium or even carbon fibre to create those shells and take a lot of weight out of it. Is that something you might be doing?
It can be made out of a lot of different materials, but that particular size there, that's just one that we happen to build in that size, because we built much smaller and, of course, much larger. We've just installed one that weighs 1.5 tonnes, for example.
The coupling?
The coupling.
How big is it?
A little bit larger than a 44-gallon drum.
Wow.
That's quite a coupling.
That's
almost a tripling.
Yeah, Glenn, in terms of front-wheel drive cars, I mean, I've got a car in our family. It's 165,000 k's, front-wheel drive, still hasn't worn out, just beginning to. It's going to cost me $140 to get that reconditioned on each side. Not a lot of money. I'm just wondering whether eventually you might be sort of, this will be a beautiful piece of engineering, but of academic interest only to someone because of the cheapness of just using a conventional joint.
No, you see, in motor cars, that may well be true in front-wheel drive, but in, say, trucks, for example, it's absolutely needed in the tail shaft, but in industry generally, the savings will be enormous, like in agriculture.
But is there a niche in front-wheel drive cars? Do you think that is a market or not?
Eventually it will be. It won't get there immediately.
You're going industrial first, aren't you?
Industrial first.
Now, when you spoke to us on the show, you said that you were, I think, doing 22 degrees as an angle. What are you up to now?
We can do up to about 32 degrees.
Is there any hope of getting it around to maybe more, and that'd open up a lot more applications?
You actually put them back to back and make effectively a double one, and you can have a total of 64 degrees.
Now, most of us only know, you know, when we think of CV joints and universal joints, we just think cars, but where is the place that you see your joint absolutely blitzing the competition? Where is it really going to make a big difference?
In industry, full stop, and we have, for example, in America at the moment, we have orders from a very, what is, I think, the world's third largest paper milling factory. Yeah, where they have rollers, for example. You know, they have to drive these rollers, and so for industry, let alone automotive, you know, the application is enormous and will keep us very busy for years to come.
Wow. Summing up, Sal?
Oh, look, this is invention in its literally purest form, and I'm gobsmacked.
You're gobsmacked. Chris, are you gobsmacked?
Yeah, look, absolutely. From an engineering point of view, this is one of the most beautiful pieces of engineering.
I just love that you've taken the best bits of a CV joint, the best bits of a universal joint, none of the downsides of either of them, and you've got it in one package. It's unreal.
Thank you.
Good on you, Glenn. Congratulations. Thanks for coming.
Thank you
Please
so
thank
much.
Glenn Thompson.